Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to be doing another problem in our LeetCode 75 study plan series. Once again, we're doing a problem in the hash map slash set category for this particular playlist. And this problem is called unique number of occurrences. All right, and then the instructions are pretty simple. Given an array of integers array, return true if the number of occurrences of each value in the array is unique or false otherwise. Yeah, pretty simple. So in this particular example, there's three occurrences of the number one, and then two has two occurrences, and then three has one occurrence. So since all of those values have different numbers of occurrences, we output true. And then for this particular example, there's one occurrence of one and one occurrence of two. So then we output false because there's they both have the same number of occurrences. So I hope you understand the problem statement now. And let's go ahead and do our code implementation for it. So I I made a solution for this prior to recording this video, and I think it's a pretty cool solution. It's requires way less lines of code than any other solution I've seen before. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But basically, what we need to do first is create a map of values, right? Because this is the hash map category, so we should utilize this because it's going to be faster than making a brute force solution. So in order to do that, let's just create a map, and then it's just going to be two integer values. And then we can call this unique nums. And then to initialize it, we just do hash map. All right. And then now we want to do a for each loop. And basically with this loop, we're going to use the merge, the built-in merge method on our hash map. And I'll explain in just a second. So for int num in array, we're going to do unique nums dot merge, and then we'll do num 1 as our default value, and then as a third argument, we're going to put in integer sum, like this. All right, and so for those of you who don't have much experience with this merge method, basically what we're doing is we're putting all of the values of the input array inside of this hash map, right? And then as the keys. And then for the value, we're putting their number of occurrences. So if since there can be repeating numbers inside of the input array, say we have a few ones and a couple twos, we need to make sure that we're putting the unique number of, or we're putting the unique values of the input array inside of the hash map, right? So if we have our number one and it occurs three times, then our key value pair is going to look like 1, 3, to help you get a better kind of visualization of what we're doing here. And then basically, if with this merge function, if this value already exists, we're just adding another 1 to the value of that particular key value pair, right? So say the value 1 already exists with its default value of 1, and then in the for loop we come across another value of 1 in the input array. Then basically that key value pair is going to change from 1 1 to 1 2, and so on and so forth. So now that we have that taken care of, what we need to do is figure out if there's a repeat in the number of values, right? So if the number 2 has 3 occurrences, and then in the same input array, the number 1 has 3 occurrences, then we need to be able to figure that out so that we can return a Boolean that indicates whether or not there's any repeats. So in order to do that, I figured out a way to do this simply with just one statement. So since it's going to be our last statement in this particular problem, we are going to start it with return, and then we want to initialize a new hash set. And keep in mind that hash sets can only have one unique value, so they throw out repeat values. Okay, so what we're going to do is get unique nums, and then the values, because we don't want the keys, we want the values, since we're trying to see how many number of occurrences each key has, essentially. So we're going to get that, and then we want the size of it, and then we're going to compare that to unique nums dot size. So basically, we're creating a hash set, and the hash set automatically discards of repeat values. So we're taking from the value set of unique nums. So say there's the number 1 has 3 occurrences and the number 2 has 3 occurrences. Then that means that only 1 3 would be added to the new hash set because there's 2 3s in the value set. So if there's 1 3, then that means the size of that value set for the new hash set that we're initializing is going to be 1 less. So it's not going to equal true for the Boolean, and therefore we would be returning false. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain it the best I can for you guys to understand. But that's like a kind of a more clever way of doing this so we can reduce the lines of code that we have. And I think that if you were able to use these built-in methods in an interview, in a coding interview, especially for a Java developer position, this would impress the interviewer. So anyways, enough talking. Let's go ahead and run this. All right, and then as you can see, it passes the first 3 test cases. So let's go ahead and submit it, and then we can talk about our time and space complexity. Yeah, so right, this solution, go ahead, it passed all the test cases. So for the time complexity, it's going to be big O of n, because we still have to iterate through the entire input array and get all of those values into the hash set, right? But remember, or the hash map. But remember that hash map operations only need big O of 1 time in order to do any sort of hash map operation. So that doesn't add anything, and it would be at any time, and it would be quicker than using a brute force solution. So the space complexity is going to be big O of n, because we're using a hash map that basically scales in size with the input array values. So there you have it. That's our LeetCode problem for today. And if you have any suggestions for other LeetCode problems outside of this particular playlist, please feel free to leave that in the comments. And if you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more related content. I will see you in the next video.